Today I'm going to explain all the differences and similarities between Locust Guy from Jujutsu Shenanigans to Ko-Guy in JJK. Ko-Guy is a minor antagonist in season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. He was a grade 2 curse spirit born from humanity's hatred of the Locust Plague. Yuji originally thought he was the grasshopper curse, which is slightly correct because locusts are a species of short-horned grasshoppers. But I doubt that humanity has enough negative emotions for grasshoppers to be a second grade curse. The reason as to why it's a second grade is due to the real fear that humanity had for locusts since the dawn of time. Typically, after a period of drought followed by heavy rainfall, triggers a rapid population increase in locusts, causing them to change their behavior, becoming highly gregarious and form massive swarms that migrate and devour large quantities of vegetation across vast areas, devastating crops and causing widespread agricultural damage. Obviously, this would be a very scary scenario for modern-day humans who invented farming. You can even hear stories from them in biblical texts and throughout history from thousands of years ago. This is why humanity's hatred resulted in a second-grade curse. Yuji Itadori then encountered Ko-Guy on the B2F of the Meiji Jinkumai station while he was guarding for the talisman for the curtain and swiftly defeated him with ease. He is capable of speaking and is pretty funny due to him thinking that he's smart, but he's not. Now that you know more about Ko-Guy, let's talk about the in-game cosmetic changes. Even though he is much larger than the average human, you are the same height as all the other characters in-game, but you will now have a set of purple wings just like Ko-Guy's. These wings also allude to the special ability which is called flight. This allows the user to spread their wings flying to a direction they're facing for around half a second before stopping on a dime. If an enemy is ragdolled in the air, the user can fly to them and start an air combo, costing 5% of the awakening bar, and allowing them to land a maximum of 3 M1s or use other moves before the player loses altitude. I'll get more into that later though. The first move is called Clever. The user crouches, getting ready to charge forward with a barrage of punches. Similarly to Curse Strikes, this move doesn't reset the user's M1s, but still allows for a follow-up attack. This is taken from the moment of Yuji and Ko-Guy trading blows. The only reason he was able to keep up for so long was due to him having 2 extra limbs and Yuji not trying. The name is also a reference to the fact that he considers himself clever and can be seen saying it multiple times to Yuji before he was hit with this bar. The next move is Black Mucus and allows the player to wind their head back before spitting out a ball of mucus, which causes the target hit by it to suffer slight slowness and a 15% damage reduction. The damage reduction is infinitely stackable and lasts for almost 10 seconds. Since he was only shown on screen fighting Yuji, all of his attacks are going to come from that battle. This is inspired by his last-ditch effort to attack Yuji while he was being overwhelmed by his strength, although locusts are not able to spit mucus in real life. Following that is Crushing Jaws. The user swings their head back and forth 3 times, repeatedly biting their opponent. If the third bite connects, the user grabs the opponent, drags them forward a short distance, and slams them into the ground, making them bounce upwards and away. Only the bites are blockable, and this move can be followed up by Flight to deal additional damage. Yes, JJS now has air combos, and by aiming at your opponent in the air and using your special, you will then be able to either do M1s or one of your moves. This isn't something that Ko-Guy was able to do, but if he got the chance, I'm sure he could. As for the attack, it is probably inspired by these series of bites that he does, but since he didn't land it, you cannot follow up like how you do in game. Finally is Wing Throw, which lets the user wind their arm back before reaching forward to grab their opponent and fly away with them before tossing them forward. This is the only move that I couldn't find anything. Maybe in the manga it was different and they left something on the anime, so if you know, comment it down below. I doubt it though. Okay, now we can talk about the awakening, which really isn't an awakening. By activating it, you will grow a long tail with a sharp end, then extend it to sting forward, dealing high poison damage to any opponent unlucky enough to be hit with it. It then drains health over time for 10 ticks and is uninterruptible. This again is something that Ko-Guy was unsuccessful in doing, but as Yuji was about to deal the finishing blow, he thought that he could use his special attack that he did not show previously, which was to extend his abdomen and sting Yuji with his deadly poison. By the way, none of these attacks have finishers and the awakening does not give you any extra boost. Okay, now it's time to grade how similar Locust Guy is to Ko-Guy. With the moves all being somewhat lore accurate other than Wing Throw and the added cosmetic changes, I think the only thing holding this character back is the lack of content there is to base him off, which forces JJS to have to be creative and come up with stuff of their own, leaving me to give Locust Guy a similarity rating a B+ to Jujutsu Kaisen. Well, if you made it this far, then you should probably go check out my playlist where I explain every character in JJS, so click right here. Millz Mafia out. Yeah.